to the and Kim. Really big, huge, gigantic, massive,
enormous
Tuesday morning show. Where it is 6:33:50, or if you're just now joining us this morning, we are glad to have you. Welcome to the show, Kim. It is another Tuesday morning.
Yes, it is.
It is another Tuesday morning. Here we are. Good morning, everyone. I mean, how have you been doing?
Doing okay. Making it. Football season's about to start. We're gearing up for all of that. Back to school stuff.
Yeah.
Kiddos come back to school.
So you have one in band camp.
Yes. Right there, man. It's almost an extended band camp.
An extended band camp.
Yes.
Why is it an extended band camp?
So they have one full week. Then they have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then they have Monday and Tuesday next week.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm so proud of my daughter. She made it into the performance this year.
Yay.
Yes. And just can't wait to see it. It looks like it's going to be beautiful. I hope to get those drawing shots.
Okay. All righty. Well, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, the 21st. Time is flying. Can you believe it? We're like already past halfway in the year of 2026.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Pretty much right at it.
I know, right?
So, yeah. And it feels like, the other half of the year. I mean, we definitely go drastic on both sides.
Yeah. All right. So I want to jump right into it because yesterday was a lot of fun in the announcement world. And I don't understand this. And so I'm needing some help, maybe some clarification. Maybe a few folks out there might want to help me out with this one. Okay. So I'm reading through Jackson Jambalaya Kingfish website because he has a lot of good information over there.
Yeah.
He's very much plugged into everything and everybody. And I'm reading yesterday that Judge Wingate, okay, and we're talking about Judge Wingate here. Here, let me get my stuff down. There we go. We're talking about Judge Wingate here, okay? So Judge Wingate, if everybody's familiar with Judge Wingate is the judge who feels like he runs the Jackson water system. Remember him?
Oh, yes.
He thinks he runs the Jackson water system, and at some point the judiciary needs to get out of the business of running the water system. So in his infinite wisdom, he decided yesterday that he was going to hold a hearing at 1:30 on how data centers might affect Jackson's water supply.
Really?
Yeah. The learned jurist, according to Kingfish, apparently saw WLBT's reporting on how the Horn administration is considering allowing the construction of a data center at the Lake Hyco site and couldn't resist the opportunity to do some micromanaging, according to Kingfish. So Judge Wingate sends out this notice Saturday night that he has a status conference he has a status conference saying this. He goes, the purpose of the conference is to obtain information concerning the proposed data center development at or near the former Lake Hyco site in Jackson. All parties must be present. And he goes on like, what exactly is being proposed? Has the city received any formal applications? What's the status of such proposals? Yada, yada, yada. So now Henry Wingate is now assuming control of Jackson's economic development arm.
Right.
Yeah, Henry Wingate now thinks he's in charge of Jackson's economic development, and he needs to be briefed on what's Jackson's economic development. I mean, talking about some judicial overreach. I mean, come on, man.
Big time. Like back and forth. It's confusing.
I mean, this gets to be
worse
a little
than a dodgeball game.
Well, it gets to be a little ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And now look at some of these comments. like one person put on here, somebody obviously got the judge's ear on this one and convinced him that he's going to have a lot of hot potatoes sooner or later.
Yes.
So, okay, that's not his job to worry about the sooner or later. His job is to worry about whatever cases are brought before him at that time, not deciding Jackson's economic future.
Exactly.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
That is so overreach. That is not in their purview of what they
I know, right?
Are supposed to be doing. And they just seem like they think that they want to just take charge and they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to run it the way I want to.
Well, he's done that in Jackson Water.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he got appointed, conservator basically of the Jackson water system, and he's pretty much running it now. And the people running the water system, they have managed to get it all back on and get pressures up, and they're
still charging their customers.
Oh yeah,
prices,
and people are having to pay it and all that stuff. But where I'm going is yes, they had to take it away from the management of Jackson because Jackson management sucked.
Oh yeah,
sucked.
Oh yeah.
Sucked. I mean, it is a miracle that they even still have water. I mean, that just goes to the testament of how well that water system was built a long time ago, that it managed to make it this long with all the mismanagement and non-maintenance that they did to it, and just sucking it dry and enriching themselves. Sounds like a bunch of Democrats, doesn't it?
Yeah, which
it really
go
does.
Back and look. It kind of is.
Sounds like a bunch of Democrats. Who don't know how to run squat, who only want to be more socialist now and communist. And we'll get into that later.
Where you have examples of generational Democrats running a city now.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it's absolutely.
How as it works out.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But what I'm saying is Judge Wingate now decided that he is the be all end all, according to this person. He thinks he can do whatever he wants, and he pretty much has in respect to Jackson Water case. Yeah, that's very true. And then somebody else post on here, did Wingate go to law school? Surely his professors told him he couldn't just wave his gavel like a wand and preside over issues of his choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I would tell Henry Wingate, look, dude, I like you. I'm going to go pound sand, man. I ain't showing up in your courtroom for no hearing because you want to know about Jackson's economic. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if I don't show up? Guess what? You can sit at your throne in your courtroom and you can pound sand. Because
you can.
when you get sand compacted, I'll show up. I mean, that's about how that's going to work.
Like,
I mean, I would tell Henry Wingate, in all due respect, have a Coke and a smile.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, seriously, again, it's not his purview. It's not what he's there to do. And if you don't trust a judge's judgment, that's the worst thing, because they make the decisions.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's why it really does honestly matter who we vote in there.
Yeah.
And everywhere else.
It does.
You need to know
it just
who
gets
you're voting in.
It just gets better and better. So the city of Jackson yesterday had a finance meeting last night. I think a couple of people showed up. But
okay.
Jackson City Councilwoman Tina Clay said the city is not operating at a deficit at a meeting of the Finance Committee last week. Ms. Clay is chairwoman of the committee. Jackson Mayor John Horn warned the city council last week the city was facing a $23 million deficit. Tina Clay, she says that they are not facing a $23 million. So which one is it? Ashby Foote, he chimed in the meeting. He said, one of the things that I would like to make an important issue in this discussion to try to come up with some money is that I would like to see all the contracts that were put in place by the previous administration redone, or some reason why they shouldn't be redone from the beginning, because we've got contracts where we don't make the kind of money we're supposed to be making based on what we're told when the council voted on them. And I think that's a potential source of significant monies for the city.
Yeah.
Now, what's Ashby Foote stating is he's saying that where there's one source of fraud, there's probably more.
Yeah.
And considering that the past administration has been convicted,
yeah,
they did plead guilty to bribery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. So there's probably more.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably more to the story with other contracts as well, according to Ashby Foote. But Miss Tina, she seems to think that they're not operating in a deficit, and she's chairman of the finance committee. But she seems to think that, oh, we're not operating in a deficit. We're all just fine. Everything's wonderful. Jackson is a crap hole, and it's just sinking into the mosh pit of disaster over there. And that's not going to stand up. No. But dadgummit. But it's she's
technical difficulties.
I know, right? She's sinking into the mosh pit of disaster over there. And she's like, oh, we're not operating in a deficit. Clearly you are operating in a deficit. Clearly you are. Because you don't have the money to fix your roads and all the other things that are going on over there. What say you, Kim?
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy how, like, you'd look just a few years after just only having Democratic, elected officials and running the whole city, and it gets so bad that they have to, something comes down the pike where they have to address it.
Yeah. Well, Tina,
and then you got a judge that thinks they'll just take over.
Well, Tina Clay says, what she suggested today is that we continue to do the things that we've been doing, working closely with our Peter Toolson and with Julian, and continue to do the things differently. I talked to the state auditor's office, and the suggestions that were made were not approved were to not approve any overtime other than essential overtime, such as the police, fire, or other essential employees. I hate when they use that word essential.
Mm-hmm.
Take out all other professional categories for every department other than what has been used, and what we really expect to have to use in the next 2 months and 2 weeks. I'm just quoting what she talks, the way she talks. Whole capital outlays until our next budget year, other than what we've already purchased. Limit or freeze operating expenses not affecting payroll. Freeze travel, no new equipment, and take out 10 and I've been informed that we cannot really take these numbers out without changing our budget until it's approved. So do a test per our CFO.
They sound like
we wonder why. I don't need to wonder why. I don't
either. Because when you hear stuff like that, you're like, okay, who are they putting in charge of these?
I don't. Like, I don't need to wonder why.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. Don't need to wonder why.
Jackson deserves better. Okay? Jackson deserves better.
It does.
Yeah.
And I don't need to wonder why. No. Unbelievable. What deficit? Deficit? What deficit? What deficit? What deficit?
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here, you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
I'm Larry Nix, host of Defining Moments, and I'm thrilled to announce the launch of Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast, exclusively on IgniteMS.tv, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora with real stories, real people, and real purpose. So join us each week as we deep dive into the life-changing moments that shape who we are and where we're headed. From faith to family, challenges to triumph, every story has power. We are touching the lives of people with the spirit of hope for life. That's Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast. You can continue to listen to us on 104.3. Also follow us for updates, previews, and more news on our Facebook page at IgniteMS.tv.
Welcome back into the
Frank
and Kim.
Really big, huge, gigantic, enormous, jumbo size, super size, and biggie size. Glamtastic show. There we go.
There
Proper
you go.
introduction.
Proper introductions received. Anyway, I don't, necessarily like jumping on Jackson all the time. I really don't, but it is ridiculous, how they are.
Yeah.
What deficit? What deficit?
Well, yeah, that's
the
not...
one that your previous administration left you in, and the fact that you haven't cleaned up that crap hole of a city over there. And the truth is that's the truth. And you hadn't fixed anything. It's been a year, Horn. I don't understand what the problem is over there. I really don't. Quit fighting everybody else around you and worry about what's going on inside.
Yeah.
And deal with that. But they have a council form of government over there, and it's different, than here. But I mean, it's, the council system, when you get a whole bunch of idiots that are on the council and don't know what they're doing, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you get. You get that mess. And it's just a shame that we've got this blue city next door, because it's just Democrat policies. It really is. It's not the people are bad. It's the Democrat policies and why they drink this Kool-Aid. I can't for the life of me figure that out. Yeah. I really can't.
I have no clue.
I really can't. Can you explain it to me, Kim?
I mean, I can't explain that. Seriously. I mean, that's kind of the question of, century.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I mean, let me tell you one thing though. When you can get Bill Maher off of your plantation a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying something's gone desperately wrong. And I think honestly the socialists of America and all that stuff that's going to overtake and really leave a bad taste, I think, in a lot of, your grandfather's Democrats. That's
right.
not what they want. And you're not going to be playing to your normal base, which means you're going to lose votes. It's just I don't understand the strategy. I really don't. I think they think that we think there's a lot more socialists that are going to, there's probably a decent amount of them, but they're
a decent amount of socialists.
Decent amount. Yeah. It's just, I think some people just kind of going along with the bandwagon, but they're going to eventually get thrown under the bus too.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you're not going to be gaining voters. You're going to be losing voters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the strategy I don't get. That's because if you can't tell by now, it's not just so widely open that you're not going to get pushback, and they're getting pushback from their side.
Yep.
Saying, where are y'all going? What are y'all doing? And I mean, we scream it from our side too.
We do.
We definitely do, because that's kind of the swamp that we talk about, to be honest with you. That's the swamp. We're all gunning for it. It's just different people. But maybe it'll start letting everybody from both actual sides understand each other a little better. Maybe, who knows? Knock the wool off eyes a little bit.
Well, I want to do that right now. Actually, I want to knock the wool off.
Do it.
I want to play.
Soapbox.
I'm not going to get on it, but just before the top of the hour, I want to get in Catherine Burblesee, who went to the University of Oxford and is the headmaster of Michella Community School in London, UK. She perfectly explains the mass indoctrination into the narrative of oppressor and oppressed and of hating white people. She explains it fairly well, and I like it, and I want everybody to hear it this morning. Okay. So here we go. This is
She looks familiar.
Catherine Burblesee. Okay. Y'all listen up.
Children learn at school and online. Ask any young person what history they learned at school, and they'll tell you Hitler. Ask them what else? Slavery. Ask them what else? American civil rights. In fact, what little they know of history will be all about black and brown people fighting for equality against the white man. Women fighting men for the vote. Gay and trans people fighting for various rights. Our young people have been taught that history is simply one long story about various groups struggling under the oppressive dead white man. Out with Dickens, Shakespeare, Kipling, and Wordsworth. We must decolonize. History is taught through an oppressor lens. The triangular slave trade, white men held the power. What about Britain ending the slave trade? More than a quick mention, if at all? No. What of the Arab slave trade that lasted 3 times as long as the triangular slave trade? No. Okay, so GCSE history in Britain is often taught as migration through time. So the idea that Britain has always been a land of immigrants is embedded in our children's heads. Most schools would prefer to concentrate learning about the tiny number of black people who existed in Tudor England over a thorough analysis of England's break from Rome. Medieval history becomes her story and is told through the eyes of Eleanor of Aquitaine, because after all, she was a woman. Not to mention weeks on King Mansa Musa of Mali, because he was a black Muslim. His bearing on British institutions, laws, and faith is non-existent. And the fact that he is said to have been the richest man in history, thanks in part to his massive slave-owning society, is a detail somehow that teachers rarely ever teach. But it isn't just our schools. It's our general culture, too. Take your kids to a museum or an art gallery in any Western country, and you'll find the same narrative. As an example, when learning about aviation in London's Science Museum and the extraordinary feat that is man making massive machines move in the sky, a write-up on the wall explains that women and black people were historically barred from aviation schools and the military. Similarly, James Watt, the man who invented the steam engine and is considered the founder of the Industrial Revolution, has a write-up on the wall explaining that his early career involved slave trafficking with a bonus analysis of the whole of Britain's complicity in the slave trade. They flatten the entire human story and all of its complexities into the narrative of oppressor and oppressed, leaving young people unable to see the world in any other
That's an important statement.
I love the way that
she's not done.
There's one other thing that I want to show you from this one.
Does she not say right there, they flatten our complete humanity?
Right, because they want to overshadow it.
Everything's about the oppressed and the oppressor.
Yeah, and everything's about their agenda.
Oh my gosh. I know, right?
Oh my gosh,
that's the most important
way she said that.
Isn't she eloquent when she says that?
Yes, and it makes so much sense. You're sitting there like, yes, exactly that right there.
Yeah, right, exactly that right
involved
there.
slave trafficking with a bonus analysis of the whole of Britain's complicity in the slave trade. They flatten the entire human story and all of its complexity
right there
into the narrative of oppressor and oppressed, leaving young people unable to see the world in any other terms.
Exactly.
There's one other thing that
Exactly.
And honestly,
They don't teach all this other stuff. They just do that.
Yeah.
Did she not on point right there?
I'd love to know what class she's got to be a professor.
She's
professor.
No, she's the headmaster at the Michela Community School in London, UK. But she went to University of Oxford.
Yeah.
You know, she's very, very well spoken.
Well, I mean,
but she really sums it up very well about oppressed and oppressor, and the way we look at, history and what we're teaching our kids and how we're teaching it. We wonder why we have an issue. And I was going here because I wanted to say this before we had to get out for break, top of the hour. Okay. I wanted to say this. Kim, you've heard me talk about this before when I talked to the Mayor's Youth Council, interviewees, when I'm interviewing these young people. And I apologize to them because it's not their fault. It's my fault. It's my fault for letting these liberal, runaway, ridiculous teachers get by with teaching this crap curriculum. It's my fault for letting that happen. So now we're straightening that out. I mean, we have to get rid of these liberal professors who are teaching this garbage to our children. It's time to be happy about your country.
And again. I wanted to mention that the headmaster was not a white man. In fact, very opposite.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience, an ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into the
Frank
and Kim.
Really big, huge, gigantic, enormous, jumbo size, biggie size, super size, Glamtastic show.
There you go. I was waiting on your word.
I know.
No, just letting you say it.
Hang.
Get some diaphragm behind that girl. I mean, my goodness.
Well, I was waiting on you.
Well, Okay.
Yeah, you missed your cue.
I guess I did. Anyway, welcome back into the show. It is 7:03:30, pretty much 7:03:30 on a Tuesday, July 21st. You are listening to the flagship radio station of 104.3 FM, The Pirate. If you are tuning in to me on your car or on the TuneIn app or the FM radio app or Listenly, there's a whole bunch out there where you literally can stream us anywhere, anytime. Now, there's a couple that you have to listen to some ridiculous commercials on, like TuneIn. I use Radioly.
Oh yeah.
I use Radioly most of the time because I don't have to listen to any commercials. You know, if I want to stream it on my car or my phone.
I had it. I'll just say this: I had it as my app for a while, but then it started coming through as a gospel station. It wouldn't change back over. I tried it like 3 different weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
No kidding. Now it may have changed back now. I don't know. the signal boost that we have now that we didn't have for a while.
Well, yeah, back when we were having issues.
It may have been that.
Back when we were having issues. Yeah, that's very true. All right, so there's a lot going on in the news. Let's just jump right in there, Kim. I did want to say this. This is a quote by Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine. Do you remember Thomas Paine?
Yes.
For those of you who went to school
yes.
and maybe actually listened in class or studied or had a teacher who cared to teach you the right stuff, Thomas Paine, back in the Founders' Day, his words, this is a quote from Thomas Paine: "We shall have no real hope to survive the enemies arranged against us until we deal with the traitors among us."
Okay.
That was back in the days of the Founders. You know, you think about that just for a second. And then John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams quoted, "As often as elections happen, the danger of foreign influence recurs. If the vote can be obtained by foreign nations by flattery or menaces, by fraud or violence, the government may not be the choice of the American people, but of foreign nations." So that is the entire quote. So I want you to really think about what he just said. By fraud or violence, flattery or menaces, okay? So foreign nations, by flattery or menaces, fraud or violence, the government may not be the choice of the American people. Now, this is John Quincy Adams, who said this back at the founding of our country. And he's talking about foreign influence. And think about all the foreign influence that we have today. And I'm going somewhere with that because John Solomon, somebody that I follow a lot, he was just on TV over the weekend, and he was talking about Trump's release of all the documentation showing where China has really been the major player in the politics of our country. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And if you paid attention to what Donald Trump said on Thursday night, you know, it's very important. First of all, I want to point out that the 3 big TV stations, ABC, NBC, and CBS, decided not to air. I could care less about CNN. I really don't give a crap what they air. They could air whatever they want. I honestly don't care. I do not care. Anyway, I'm not even going to get off on that. But the other 3, the big 3, they did not. The mainstream media, they censored Donald Trump's speech because they didn't play it. They didn't play it. And I think that's just ridiculous and wrong. But regardless of that, Donald Trump comes out and he declassifies a bunch of evidence showing where China has infiltrated our electoral system. And there's mountains of evidence everywhere that is showing what all they did and how they did it. But John Solomon, he got tasked with going through it for the release. And so he was on his show the other day, and I want y'all to hear exactly what he said.
Yes, China began in 2020 by buying data commercially available. That has a small amount of data fields. That wasn't enough. So then they began to steal and hack. By 2022, they didn't buy it anymore. They put what is known as a CNE, data exploitation team. That team doesn't buy things. It goes out and hacks and cyber intrudes their way into data. And what you see in the NSA data are the voter files that by 2023 total 220 million. They include fields that only could come from penetrated state databases or their vendors. And I think a lot of the vendors may have been the weak spot. But that whole they bought it story, stick it in the same circular file that you put Russia collusion and the Hunter Biden laptop, Russia disinformation letter, just put it in that file, never to be bothered with again. There is zero doubt that the NSA believed that our voting databases were hacked and stolen, not just bought. Mark Warner, pay attention.
You got that? You got that? They weren't buying anything. They hacked and stole it. They hacked and stole it. They have C&E data exploitation teams target and penetrate their way into secure databases and hacked over voter data that could have only come from penetrated state databases. Now, I want to point something else out, too. There is a little bit more to this story because let's all get acquainted with Nikki Flores.
Okay.
You heard Nikki Flores. Do you know anything about Nikki Flores?
I do not.
Nikki Flores is a rogue FBI bureaucrat who bragged about running a shadow government. In an email, she literally says it in an email. So what she does, she led FBI's Foreign Interference Task Force back in 2020. Okay?
Okay.
She finds out that China is infiltrated our voting, and they've got 220 million voter registrations. I want to think there's 380 million people in the United States.
Yeah.
220 million of those have been compromised. China has that information. So I want you to think about that for just a second. With that information, what can they do? If they have all of your stuff, they have your name, your address, your social security number, your birth date, all of your information when you write all that down. When they have all of that, they can create fake IDs. They can open bank accounts. They can register you to vote in multiple places. Make it look legit. They can. They just can. When they have all of that data, they can manipulate it any way they want to. So she began getting all of this information. So Nikki Flores, she decided on her own that she was running a shadow government in the FBI. She literally puts it in an email that she's sending to multiple people in the FBI as they are sending her information that goes, and one of the things that her responsibility is the presidential daily brief. Okay. So she's supposed to put together a brief every morning and put it in, what they call the PDB. She's supposed to put it in the PDB. Well, she decides she's going to withhold all of that information. She decided she was going to hold it back. She was not going to give Donald Trump any of the information that China had hacked, stolen, infiltrated, done all this stuff that the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, everybody had found out. She decided she wasn't going to put that in the PBD. She was going to withhold it. And in her email specifically states, send all of this to me as I'm running a shadow government, and we will be massaging the data going into the PBD. That's what she specifically says.
That's crazy.
She specifically says this. Now, John Solomon just lays it out for you that our intelligence community goes, whoa, we got a problem. Hold up. China's doing X, Y, and Z. Nikki Flores, hold up. Send all this to me because no, we're not going to tell anybody about it because we're going to get rid of Donald Trump. Now, I want you just to think about that for just a moment. He released this on Thursday night, right?
Yes.
And plenty of people are wanting to know why Kash Patel and the FBI didn't have some massive SWAT team with the SWAT truck and guns drawn and all that kicking in Nikki Flores' door. on Friday morning.
Yeah.
And dragging her out in handcuffs and putting her in an orange jumpsuit. I would like to know the answer to that too.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah.
I want to say more. Because I want to say more. So Nikki Flores, she's such a winner. I swear she is. She's such a winner. Nikki Flores, I'm going to go on and tell you a little bit more about her. I don't have it right here in front of me, but I know it. Here we go. So Nikki Flores allows 220 million American voter files to be stolen, and she doesn't give that to the president. But guess what? After Trump loses, Biden comes in and all that, guess where she goes?
Where?
Microsoft.
Okay.
She gets hired by Microsoft. She's still there to this day. She's hired by Microsoft. And guess what her job is?
What?
Her job is digital security at Microsoft for Microsoft Azure.
What?
Yes. Remember, she worked for the FBI and all this. Remember this? So she's a security person at Microsoft to keep foreign actors out of Microsoft. I got some more for you. I got some more for you. I got some more for you. Guess what? 3 days before Barack Obama left office, 72 hours before he left office, he signed a contract with Microsoft Azure to move all federal government information to Microsoft Azure cloud. That means it comes off of the federal government servers and moves over to Microsoft servers and Bill Gates.
Yep.
And who's running security for all of that? Flores.
Yeah.
How did China manage to get all of this information? They didn't have to do anything because Microsoft Azure Cloud has all of it in there. They didn't have to hack squat. I mean, connect the dots here, people. Do I have 100% evidence that this happened? Not totally. But guess what? Secretary of War Pete Hegseth got rid of the China. Okay, let me back up. Just a little bit. So Microsoft had a China-based engineer servicing military's cloud system, and they were watched over by American digital escorts, Flores, who often could not tell if the code being pushed was malicious. The entire federal government runs on Microsoft Azure thanks to contract that was signed by Barack Hussein Obama right before he leaves office. Secretary Hegseth shut out these Chinese digital escorts programs following Laura Loomer's report, and asked Microsoft with a formal letter of concern about the breach of trust and ordered a third-party audit at Microsoft's expense. And so Laura Loomer breaks this story and she says, I've been reporting on this for a while, and instead of giving the Trump administration answers, Microsoft sent a PR firm to try to shut down Laura Loomer. And she says, that should tell you everything I need to know. You need to know. And it should.
They claim that Microsoft paid for it. Nikki Flores, who was then in the FBI's counterintelligence division, wrote this email in 2020 stating she was basically running a shadow government by hiding information from President Trump. According to her LinkedIn, she's now the director of insider risk at Microsoft. I mean, what an absolute joke, right? And then you think it's a coincidence that Microsoft hires Lisa Monaco and Microsoft gave access to Chinese nationals to be digital escorts, and the entire federal government uses Microsoft Government Azure thanks to a contract that was signed by Barack Hussein Obama in the week before he left the White House? You think this is a coincidence? And they use these Chinese nationals to do their government support? How the hell do you think China got access to all of our information? We use Microsoft Government Azure. They literally use CCP operatives and Chinese nationals. They hired a PR firm to privately negotiate with me and try to walk me off the ledge when I was reporting all of this. And it resulted in the Secretary of War having a private meeting with the head of Microsoft and ordering them to conduct a internal third-party audit, which they claim that Microsoft paid for.
You hear this? Did you hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Do I need to play it for you one more time? What? It's froze. No, I guess it's behind. Anyway, do I need to play it for you one more time?
No.
Did you hear that? I mean,
I think that we heard it, but
and wrap your brain around this. First of all, Barack Hussein Obama signs a contract that moves everything. They use Chinese nationals. What's she talking about? They use Chinese nationals. They use people that are here in the United States as digital escorts to monitor what's going on at Microsoft. Now, wait a minute. They use Chinese people from China that come over here as nationals as the help desk.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be digital escorts to make sure that nobody infiltrates the system. But they're Chinese. They're responsible. Wait a minute. So they're responsible for keeping out the Chinese. Do you get the hypocrisy in this?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who thought this was a good idea? Oh, Barack Hussein Obama thought it was a good idea.
And I do agree. Why are we not coming in, SWAT team, and arresting these people? I don't get it. I don't get that. That's the thing that boggles my mind the most. We've been waiting for stuff like this. It's literally handed to you on a platter. And you don't do it. You don't do anything with it. But
I have real concerns. Real concerns that I really want to get into. But I'm going to drink some coffee real quick. And when we come back, we're going to stay in it. Right, Kim?
Yes.
So y'all buckle up.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I'm Larry Nix, host of Defining Moments, and I'm thrilled to announce the launch of Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast, exclusively on IgniteMS.tv, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora with real stories, real people, and real purpose. So join us each week as we deep dive into the life-changing moments that shape who we are and where we're headed. From faith to family, challenges to triumph, every story has power. We are touching the lives of people with the spirit of hope for life. That's Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast. You can continue to listen to us on 104.3. Also follow us for updates, previews, and more news on our Facebook page at IgniteMS.tv.
China is one of the biggest collectors of data on the planet. So if you take that 220 million voter rolls and you combine it with something called the SF-86, those are the security clearance applications that were compromised back in 2015, 22 million files. And then you combine it with all of the health information that's been hacked, you can really build this kind of digital composite of an individual. And you can use that for, voter registration fraud. You can use that for identity theft. And significantly, you can also use it to recruit American citizens to your efforts. So it's not just about the collection of the data around the vote. Exactly.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Do I need to play it again? Welcome back into the
Frank
and Kim. Really big, huge, gigantic, massive,
enormous,
glamtastic show.
Yes.
Catherine Herridge, on point right there. Exactly what I was saying. When you have all of that information, and she even goes back even further from where China's hacked more stuff. When you start putting together your digital dossier on 220 million people, why is that not a big deal? Why is the mainstream media, those bastards over there, why are they not reporting it? Why? Why? I need to know why. Why? Why are they not reporting it, Kim?
I don't
Joe
know.
Biden comes out and says, China hacked the UK and 40 million voters' information was stolen and taken by China. And they covered that. And they got all up in arms about that. But yet 220 million American citizens' data was taken by the Chinese, by Xi Jinping. Let that sink in just a minute. If you are not absolutely infuriated by that, then there is a problem. You are not a patriot. I just got to tell you, you're not. If you are not infuriated that 220 million people of your countrymen's data was taken, the medical data, the voter registration data, the driver's license data, all that, then there's a problem. You are not an American citizen. Remember what I read last week? Do you remember what I read last week? What did I read last week? Do y'all remember this? Let me refresh your memory. Let me jump right back here just a second, because I got to scroll back in my notes for just a minute. It may take me just a second, but bear with me, because what did I read last week? What did I say about Barack Obama? It was you.
Yeah, you way past it.
I'm way past it.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it?
Yeah, because it has somebody else's picture on the front.
It was you.
Yeah.
It was you. It was you. Barack Hussein Obama. It was you. I mean, I'm way past it. I'm way past it already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Remember when I read this last week?
Yes.
It was you who spoke words at the Islamic dinner. I'm one of you. It was you who wrote that in the event of conflicts, I will stand with the Muslim. It was you who exempted Muslims from penalties under Obamacare. It was you who traveled the Islamic world, denigrating the United States. It was you who ordered Georgetown University Notre Dame to shroud all vestiges of Jesus. It was you who, as an Illinois senator, was the only individual who would speak in favor of infanticide. It was you. When queried in India, you refused to acknowledge the true extent of racial global jihadists. It was you who ordered United States Postal Service to honor the Muslim holiday with a new commemorative stamp. It was you. It was you. It all points back to him. All of this crap. And I could get into a lot more. But the point that I'm making right here, right now, today, is that Donald Trump comes out and tells you that China stole 220 million voter registration logs, as well as all the other crap that they've taken, that they've stolen. China. And where's the uproar? Where are the marching in the streets? Where's the pitchforks and the torches? Where are they? Where are they? Where are you people? I'd like an answer to that.
Yeah, I don't really ever see that. So not expecting it.
Chad Prather, do you know him?
Yes, I do. I've done a show with him once.
Yeah, Chad Prather. He comes out and says this: Trump was beating China in his first term, which is true. China used a virus to lock down our country and weaken the integrity of our elections while using stolen election data to get rid of Trump and install a puppet president. Chad Prather says this. And I want to say this a little bit more. May get me in trouble, but I really don't care whether it does or not. I really don't care. I'm going to say this, that when you start looking back, when you're a kid, they give you these sheets of paper. Like, I'm talking about a little kid. They give you these sheets of paper and they want you to draw a line between the dots. Do you remember this?
Draw a line between the dots?
Yeah, you connect the dots. And you have to connect the dots. And once you get connected all the dots, there's a picture that emerges, right?
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorites.
It's connecting the dots. Now, this is a simple child exercise. And what is it teaching you as an individual when you draw lines and what is that teaching you? First of all,
critical thinking.
Yes. Thank you, Kim. Critical thinking. So let's explain this just a little bit before I jump into this China thing a little more. When you draw the dots, when you're a little kid and you connect from dot A to dot B to dot C to dot D, E, F, and G, and then all of a sudden, wow, a picture emerges and you're like, oh, that's really cool. And you do that several times. First of all, you're taking your hand and eye coordination.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And your brain is doing hand-to-eye coordination. That's the first thing. The second thing to it is doing deductive reasoning and learning, because you're using multiple senses to learn information, not just one or two, multiple. So when you write stuff down and visually watch yourself write it, it reinforces the knowledge in your brain. So by drawing from dot A to dot B to dot C and drawing that around, your brain goes, oh, look here. If I do X, Y, and Z, if I do A, B, and C, then this information emerges. I get this information. So as you eloquently said, critical thinking.
Yes.
So let's use the same first grade elementary way of doing things. It hasn't changed in forever. And connect the damn dots. Do you see where I'm going with this? Let's connect the dots. So if I go back to COVID times, if I go back to Donald Trump's first presidency, his first term, and all the Russia collusion BS that was going on that Hillary Clinton unleashed on the world, and Barack Hussein Obama backed it up and even went so far as to literally change the presidential daily brief. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And to rewrite a CIA report, John Brennan. That's dot number one.
Yeah.
There you go. There's dot number one. Russia collusion hoax, Obama and all that. Oh, now we're going to do the Microsoft deal. Don't forget that. There's dot number two. Also, don't forget, that's the first year that happened just previously. That's the first year when Donald Trump was running that China hacked all that medical information from the United States. Catherine Harris just told you that. There's dot number three.
Yeah.
So I start putting these dots together. Well, then what happens? Trump gets elected and you have all of this internal CIA, FBI, NSA, 18 different agencies, all trying to bury Trump in the first 2 years with some Russia collusion. Then you get that moron that says AG from Alabama who recuses himself. But you have all these people now blowhards for 2 years screaming at Donald Trump about Russia collusion, which none of it's true. But yet Hillary Clinton's got 33,000 emails sitting on a server in her bathroom in Chippewa, New York. I mean, come on, man. There's some more dots. I'm connecting some more dots. Do you see this? I'm connecting some more dots. And then guess what happens? Trump is absolutely strangling China in his first term. And it goes against everything China. This cannot stand. It cannot happen. Well, who's on the payroll in China? Who's on the payroll? You don't have to answer. I'll help you out. Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's on the payroll. He's on the payroll in Ukraine. He's on the payroll in China. 10% for the big guy, remember?
Yeah.
So Hunter Biden's on the payroll. Joe Biden's on the payroll. So what do? They dust off that old fogey, and they drag him out to run him for the third time. And we have all kinds of election issues. We have stuff shutting down that night. But what happened before that? COVID. All of a sudden, we have COVID. COVID just materializes out of nowhere. Fauci and all that, he's all, we got to mask up. We got to do all these things. We got to go in lockdown. Here you some more dots that you can connect some more dots. We're putting all this together. So here's where I'm going to get in trouble. I don't have any proof of this, but I'm connecting the dots. Remember that picture I'm telling you that's coming out?
Mm-hmm.
I'm connecting the damn dots. And in order to perpetrate a massive fraud on the American people with all this mail-in voting BS and all the ridiculousness that went on there, what had to happen? A pandemic. Who released it? China. They did it on purpose. They released it on purpose. They killed millions of people globally, all on purpose to affect an American election, to install a puppet regime in the United States and get rid of Donald Trump. Because full on, they did it. They did it that way. They did it on purpose. We know you did it. The dots are showing me the picture that you did. All I'm doing is connecting the dots. That's it. I'm connecting the dots, Kim. And China did it on purpose. They released it on purpose so that they could now take 220 million people's voter information. And I want to further put this like this. Who comes out and stands at a podium who's driving a U.S. postal truck in Pennsylvania with hundreds of thousands of ballots loaded in his truck at 2:00 in the morning? A postal worker.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start looking at these ballot drops that happened in Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, massive numbers. They all happened at the same time. Literally. Different time zones, but they all happened at the same time. All these ballots show up. You have one lady who comes out in a hearing and she's talking about how she's counting ballots. She's watching the ballots being counted. She's watching this. And what happens? It's her testimony. This is her testimony, November 3rd. And she says they had pre-filled ballots ready for service once the count was halted. This is Michigan poll watcher under oath.
I remember her.
They were all in sequence. These are absentee ballots, mail-in ballots. They cannot be in sequence. 2232 cannot have 2233 right behind it because they are all mailed in. It's not possible that you can have them in sequence. It doesn't work. You get the law of randomness coming in, the mail coming in does not put them in sequence.
Right, because they're going to come in a different time.
They also had no dates. There was no dates. And guess what? All the signatures were the same. All of them.
Yeah. I mean, we had testimony after testimony. There's Rudy Giuliani, which was doing what we needed him to do.
Yes. It's everywhere.
And
so
they weren't taking it seriously at all.
Here's where I'm going about connecting the damn dots. Just connect the dots like you did in first freaking grade. And you get these pictures that emerge and you go, wait a minute, I may not have been born, I wasn't born yesterday. I wasn't born last night, but I was born the other day. I got a little bit of sense. And I have a pretty good idea that when I start connecting the dots, I may not have 100% of the proof yet, but oh my.
So
the dots are showing me a picture.
Our friend David Hall said, what are the mathematical odds that all those ballot dumps swung for one?
It's impossible.
Yeah.
David,
Even if you
statistically, I could show you a way statistically that you could make it possible, but that's because statistics is just somebody's opinion. I took statistics in school. My professor told me I can make stats look any way I want to just by manipulating the data. So yeah, I could do it. But we all have common sense, and we know that's not possible.
Yeah.
It is not possible for that to happen. So when I start connecting the damn dots and I start putting this stuff together, and I'm going like, wait a minute, there's a picture emerging here that tells me one thing. And then Donald Trump comes out and says, hey, look at this. Here's all this stuff that was stolen. Here's what they did. Here's where they did it. Here's who did it. Oh, really? So the more that comes out, the more that comes out, and the more that comes out, you start seeing a vivid picture of exactly what happened, Kim.
Yeah.
It's a vivid picture. You cannot argue with this. But yet I got senators like Lisa Murkowski standing on the floor of the Senate saying, I can't vote for the SAVE Act because it disenfranchising Alaskans. She's a piece of work. Let me tell you about
really?
Lisa Murkowski.
How does it disenfranchise Alaskans? I'd like to know her reasoning on that, because that just sounds straight idiotic.
Well, she did, but I got some news for you. Lisa Murkowski is financed by one and only Melinda Gates. Remember her?
Yeah.
You know who funded the initiative to get ranked choice voting installed in Alaska? Bill Gates.
Yeah, I was fixing to say.
Who all did it benefit? Lisa Murkowski. Really now. So according to Laura Loomer, who has made, she has been digging all this information up. So the Gates Foundation is behind some other foundations that got ranked choice voting done in Alaska and funds Lisa Murkowski. Now, wait a minute. So wait, you're going to tell me that Bill Gates is funding Lisa Murkowski in Alaska to get her so she can stay senator, so she can oppose the SAVE Act. But also Bill Gates owned Microsoft. And who's infiltrated Microsoft? We know that now. China. Wait a minute. Seriously? Dot connections. You're going to tell me I'm crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I'm connecting the dots. It draws a goddamn picture that I can clearly see. I don't need any help getting my pictures once I start connecting the dots. So are you connecting the dots, Kim?
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can tell you?
No, I think I got it. I think
what I want to know is why are there not any pitchforks and the torches out in the street?
Why is the FBI and all of the agencies not coming after
this? The media.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
I'm Officer Kyle Carmerdale.
And I'm Officer Alfred Jenkins, School Resource Officer with the Pearl Police Department. And our job is to protect students.
Here in Pearl, we have zero tolerance for drivers that break school bus laws. There are 4 things to know. Stop at least 10 feet from the bus when it is loading or unloading. Don't move until kids have crossed the street to or from the bus. The flashing red lights are no longer activated. The stop sign on the side of the bus is retracted.
When we catch you, you get a ticket up to $750, up to a year in jail, or both.
Please pay attention so every student can get to school and home safely.
Welcome back into the
Frank
and Kim
Really big, gigantic, humongous, enormous, jumbo size. Glamtastic.
Massive show on Tuesday. It is 7:43, heading into the 8 o'clock hour. If you haven't gotten up and headed to work yet on a Tuesday morning because you had a late night on Monday, well, you're going to be late if you're just now getting up.
Yeah.
Unless you work from home. Anyway, so the media. I'm jumping right back into it. The media. Something else that Trump released was that China infiltrated so far into the country that they started paying journalists to write negative press about the administration. Do you hear that?
Sounds about right.
So the CIA colluded with China to write negative news articles, create fake driver's license, and cheat on our elections with mail-in ballots. The CIA and media covered it up from the president and the American people. The Democrats put laws in to protect and exploit this cheating scandal operation, then put people like Tina Peters in prison. Remember her?
Yeah.
Because she was exposing it in Colorado. They used this to steal an election that allowed 11 plus million people to cross open borders, 40-year record inflation, thousands of Americans in prison for protesting a stolen election, and labeled us domestic terrorists. We need to null and void all auto-pin decisions, Senate and House appointments that were fraudulent, get rid of Kenjati Jackson Brown's appointment, Supreme Court, yada, yada, yada. It's beyond absurd. But yes, the media. So the media is being paid by China, the media, to write negative news stories. So you think about all this. They're hacking, they're stealing, they're taking, they release a pandemic on the world, and they are absolutely paying journalists to write negative stories. Now, where do they start all of this? They start all this in the universities. They put all these Chinese kids in the universities to sway public opinion in journalism schools and things of that nature to get these kids to get on the payroll, and they start taking this money to write negative stories. So you have nothing but negative press, and you wonder why we have all this propaganda going on in the country right now is because China has been paying for it. Don't just take my word for it. How about Joshua Phillips' word for it?
United Front. And why has it been called the, quote, magic weapon of the CCP by the regime's leaders? Basically, what the United Front does is it works through a branch of the Chinese government that works to establish bases of power outside China, including...
All right, so real quick. The United Front, you ever heard the word fifth column? This is the fifth column. I'll explain it in a minute.
In the United States. This network of front organizations then works to infiltrate and subvert the targeted country. Bribery, blackmail, propaganda trips to China, and also the use of a massive number of organizations to alter foreign perspectives in the CCP's favor. In a report this year, the Jamestown Foundation actually identified over 2,000 United Front organizations of the CCP in just 4 countries: the United States, Canada, the UK, and Germany. Now, about half of those CCP front organizations it found are operating right here in the United States. The report says this, quote, Beijing's network is the product of protracted co-optation of existing civil society organizations overseas and the global expansion of domestic United Front elements. It notes the party spent decades assiduously cultivating overseas Chinese community organizations, co-opting local leaders and institutions to embed its preferences within civil society. And it adds, quote, this includes engaging in malign and illegal activities in foreign countries, and says overseas groups with ties to the United Front have directly supported illicit technology transfer, espionage, talent recruitment, and voter mobilization on Beijing's behalf. It notes these groups engage in transnational repression, monitoring, harassing, and/or intimidating dissidents, ethnic minorities, and other critics of the party. And imagine that. Around 1,000 organizations of the Chinese Communist Party operating right here in the United States, carrying out the bidding of the party and exporting the regime's human rights abuses onto American streets. And these front groups also include the secret Chinese police stations we've been hearing so much about. Basically, the secret police stations, they tend to run out of the organizations tied to the United Front. And that program in particular, it's also tied in with the CCP's Ministry of Public Security, another method the regime is using to export its laws outside of China, including right here in the U.S.
You hear that? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
What did I talk about the fifth column? So the fifth column goes way back, way back. I'm trying to remember how far it goes. It goes back to oh my gosh, 2,000 years ago. Talking about the fifth column. So my history's a little fuzzy here, but just a quick thing. So a city is literally being surrounded. They have 4 legions marching on the city, and those 4 legions have surrounded the city. And I'm trying to remember it's not Carpathia or something like that, but it goes way back. And it's 4 legions that are marching on the city from outside the city, right, to take it over. But what they had done is they had infiltrated inside the city with a whole bunch of operatives inside the city. And it was described then in history as the fifth column. So that's where that comes from. You have 4 columns of legionnaires outside that are trying to invade the city. But what they had done is they had covertly gone into the city over time and created a 5th column of invaders. Why do I use that analogy? Because I want people to understand something. What he's talking about right there, this is Joshua Phillip. What he's talking about right there is the 5th column. So the 5th column exists. It is, and in our case here in the United States, it's 2 fronts. We have 2 fronts on the 5th column from 2 separate and distinct groups. 2. First is the Muslims. I talked about it last week. The jihad against the United States, what are they doing? They're infiltrating our country as a 5th column. So not only are they attacking us from outside, they're attacking us from inside as well. So you need to clearly understand, look, if you don't understand history, if you don't study history, if you don't go back and learn from it, you are destined to repeat it. Period, full stop. You can challenge me on that all you want to, you're going to lose, because that's the truth. If you don't go back and study history, then you've already lost, because you don't understand how your future is going to shape out. History will teach you how to handle the future, how to direct and mold. And I'm telling you, the 5th column on the Islamic front is here. Kim, you were just talking about that massive place they're building in Texas, right? They got to shut that down. All Muslims need to leave this country now, today. Get the hell out of my country. When I see one now, I'm like, nope, you got to go. You can be the nicest person on the planet, but you're about some jihad. No, you're out of here. You got to go, because you're part of that 5th column. When you get enough of them over here, they're going to rise up with guns and they're going to start trying to cut your head off. That's what they're going to do. So don't blame me when it starts happening. Just get your powder dry and get ready to start killing, because that's what's going to happen. Here's the other part, the other front, China. Hey, they are literally full steam ahead on taking down Western society. What did he just say? Canada, United States, UK, and Germany. Those are the 4 most powerful Western countries in existence today. I would argue that the UK and Canada are not part of that 4, but China has gone in and literally destroyed those 2 countries. You got some moron running Canada right now, and the new Labor Party, they just put some other idiot in there, and he's doubling down on labor policies. At UK, it's ridiculous. London's lost. You can forget it. Paris lost, France lost. All that's lost. I mean, just look at the marching they've got in the street with the Muslims. But going back to China is trying to destroy this country from within. He just lays it out for you. Joshua Phillip just lays it out for you, how they've infiltrated everything. Over 1,000 Chinese organizations working in our country today, right now, to try to destroy this country, because China wants to be the #1 superpower in the country. Now, I got news for you. I got news for you. If you want to continue to have the freedoms that you have today, get your freaking tail off the couch and get involved with something. These people that bury their head in the sand, and I'm talking about the church. I'm talking about them as well. I'm not letting you be immune. Okay, I'm talking about the church, because we have gotten into this teaching that we have to be some passive bunch of folks that allow this don't get involved, don't get physical, don't get this. It's not the right thing to do. I got news for you. It is the right thing to do. Kim, you're quiet over there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll let you be on your soapbox for a minute. But yeah, I mean, people need to stop having their heads in the sand. And the thing is that the thing that sucks is we are not the ones that can change anything. The ones that know, the ones that speak about it, we can't actually affect that happening. It's the people that, I mean, really, since it's criminal acts, our Justice Department needs to be handling this and taking care of it, which is honestly the question that I keep having. Why are we? They set up so many things that they release, and declassify, and this is great. Why are they not using it to actually go after the people? Is my question. I honestly thought with the speech that Trump gave the other day, I was thinking there was going to be something coming down the pike. You know what I mean?
I do.
Because they're releasing all of this stuff, and we're finding out more from all these other angles. But there has not been one, linchpin that has been pulled anywhere. And, time is ticking by. Seriously.
It is.
Because
we got to do something about it.
We get out of Trump's administration, if we don't have the right person, taking his place, it's not going to continue. So what we need to do, what we can do right now in this moment, because time is ticking. Can you not find it?
No, I don't think I saved it, but it was where Charlie Kirk was actually talking about this, and he was talking about it to a bunch of pastors at a TPUSA, Turning Point USA Summit, Pastor Summit, where he brought in a whole bunch of pastors, and he was talking about how for the last 40 years we have basically just buried our heads in the sand to everything going on around us. And us Christians, the pastors are literally preaching this and burying our heads in the sand, where you've got other religions that are active and getting out there and that are preaching all this hate and ill will, and they're being activists. And what are we doing? We are retracting, because it's not becoming to a Christian to get out there and get in your face. Well, I tell you what, I'm a Christian, and I'm going to get in your face. And we have to do something with China. Now, do I want to send my boys to war? No, I don't. But I'm going to tell you right now, Iran would not exist as a country anymore if Frank were dictator. That would be a glass parking lot at this point. The Marines, the Special Forces, the Army, I would have gone in there and planted the American flag in Tehran and declared this a province. This crap would be over. Now, would I have some American dead? Absolutely. And I'm real sorry that they'd have to have some lives that are dead. Some American boys are killed, and women. I would hate that. I really do. I don't want that to happen. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let this continue one more day. This is going to stop. And we're going to throw all those people out. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to park a whole bunch of aircraft carriers and destroyers off the coast of Taiwan and point every gun at China. And say, do one more flipping thing, and you're next. Full stop. I would come out on TV and say it. One more flipping thing. Go sit down and shut up because you ain't running none of this over here. And Cuba, that would be my backyard. I would have gone in and we were just going to strip all that out. That would be my backyard. Cuba. I'd already taken that and just be done with it. Venezuela, yeah, we taken that too. So that's what Frank would do. And that's what we got to do. Anyway, that's enough doom and gloom for today, I think. Don't you?
Yes.
That's enough doom and gloom. But before we get out of here, I don't want to end on doom and gloom. I don't. I follow Josh Howerton. He's a preacher. He's a minister. He's a young guy. If you don't follow Josh Howerton, you should. He's very, very good. This is the best 3 minutes of preaching he says he's ever seen. The best 3 minutes of preaching he's ever seen. It's really not 3 minutes. It's about 2.5. But in the minute and a half that we have left,
yeah,
I'm going to play the 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Because I think this is where we need to end today. Quite honestly.
For real, I think might be the greatest 3 minutes of preaching that has ever occurred that I've seen. Wow. From a dude named Alistair Begg. You're going to hear it in a second. He's Scottish. Makes him sound real awesome. Sounds like Braveheart's preaching the gospel to you. It's real great.
So that to go to the old Fort Lauderdale question, if you were to die tonight and you were getting entry into heaven, what would you say? If you answer that, and if I answer it in the first person, we've immediately gone wrong. Because I believed, because I have faith, because I am this, because I am continuing. Loved ones, the only proper answer is in the third person, because he. Think about the thief on the cross. And what an immense, I can't wait to find that fellow one day to ask him, how did that shake out for you? Because you were cussing the guy out with your friend. You'd never been in a Bible study. You never got baptized. You didn't know a thing about church membership. And yet you made it. You made it. How did you make it? That's what the angel must have said. Like, what are you doing here? Well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, because I don't know. Well, excuse me, let me get my supervisor. Go get the supervisor in. So, wait, just a few questions for you. First of all, are you clear on the doctrine of justification by faith? The guy said, I never heard of it in my life. And what about? Let's just go to the doctrine of Scripture immediately. This guy's just staring, and eventually, in frustration, he says, "On what basis are you here?" And he said, "The man on the middle cross said, I can come."
Boom!
The man on the middle cross said, I could come. Wow. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. This is not of your undoing. It is the gift of God.
There you go.
That was good.
There you go. Boom!
I liked that. Yes.
Boom! The man said I could come.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Kim.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of today's show. I hope that message resonates with you guys.
Thank you to all our listeners out there. We appreciate you. And we will see you next week.
Yes, we will. Same bat time, same bat channel on next Tuesday. Y'all have a good week. We'll see you next time. And remember, China.
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM.